And now everybody knows. So here's the thing. If anybody has a question, because I will stop the recording if the question is personal. Just so you know. Okay. So none of this is an accident. None of this is an accident. It just doesn't make sense. But unusual things, if you want to do something that is atypical, it cannot make sense to typical viewpoints. Like, you cannot be unusual and also be usual. It doesn't happen. So just understand that those of us that know, we're going to go a gazillion X. That's not a promise. We're going to do better than this. And I'm going to show you how to take profits. I'm going to show you how to sell. I'm going to show you how to buy and all that stuff. All right. So everybody open a chart, because what I want to do is I want to get top 5. We're 4 right now, 3 right now. I want to stay top 5 for a week. And it's going to be a pain in the ass, because we're going to get a bunch of people like we got when we started trending coming in and asking questions. I think this is the most important part of your journey, because in educating those people, you're going to learn a lot. And you're also going to start to understand where people are coming from. The only reason I am effective in some of the stuff that I do is I spend a lot of time dealing with people I don't want to deal with, so that I can understand where they're coming from. If you can understand people, you could win the market. Okay, if you understand people, you can win the market, because this is small market cap, even though it says it's a massive market cap, which means what people do right here and what you think they're going to do right here and right here and right here determines your next best move. This is the reason I'm so into crypto, is because of how the accelerated rate in which you could study human behavior. All right. So I want you guys to know that. I'm not going to keep preaching that forever. I want you guys to know that. And as long as every 2 days we get 300 people that understand that, we are moonbound, okay, to the moon. So I'm going to show you how easy this is. Now, let me put everybody, make sure this is open. And when it gets open, click the trade button, because that helps us too. If you ever want to trade Wolfies, trade, find it on Dext. It's always good for trending. And it populates BNB and Wolfies, and you can just swap these two. Right. So if you want to sell it, if you want to buy it, you want to sell it, you want to buy it. Okay. Everybody do that for me, because it helps us. Everybody makes more money. So here you see these buy walls, you see these sell walls, and here's how I know this isn't true for all projects. This is something that we believe is going to have sustainability. If you do not know if it's going to have sustainability, and you are not sure about the project, these rules do not apply. But if that's the case, you should have been out right here. You don't stay in an unsure project for this long, because these things can go down to zero. Just like that guy said that came on the voice chat, these things can very quickly go down to zero. Any dev can just disappear. Okay. That's everything he said was valid. I don't care about being validated. I care about being useful. Yeah. So boom, this is a beautiful couple days. Now here is how we know if we're on the right track. I'm going to refresh this, because I want the automatic scale. I did not do that for refreshing purposes. What happens when you refresh is, see how it changes the scale? Look how terrifying this looks. There were people, and some of you might be here, that were like, I bought the top. This kind of sucks. I'm still holding, but what a bummer. And what you need to realize, now we're sitting right here. Do you really care that you bought the top? Right? The point being, we have to adjust our time preferences. Right? That's, if we look at a 1 minute, look at this. Like, look how a roller coaster of emotion this is. If you bought here and then we're sitting right here, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is the best investment ever. And you're like, oh my God, I'm losing my money. But in reality, all of that emotion driving your decisions was right here. Look how insignificant this is. All right, hopefully that makes sense. I just try to give you some sense of perspective here. So how do we know? Look at this right here. And this was Kevin introduced me to this. He does far more detailed stuff. I do broad strokes, and I'll explain my broad stroke strategy. Do not adopt it, but understand it conceptually. Okay, here. When we were right here, for example, can you let me know that you can see kind of where my pointer is at? I would have expected this. I actually would have expected us to go down to about right here. Right? This was all groovy, but this, if we didn't handle the Telegram chat the way we did, if we didn't educate people, if we weren't communicating about what was happening, this would have been very, very fragile. If I looked at this, I would be concerned. And some of you know why, because we've talked about this. And then at midnight, something magical happened where I would have said, ooh, wow, we're in a good place, right? And then I would have been comfortable through all of this. This doesn't feel fragile to me. This green does not feel fragile to me. This green does. But I know all of you, and we were talking to you, which is why I wasn't worried about it, right? This red does not bother me at all. A lot of people would panic. It does not bother me at all. And I'm going to explain why in just a moment. I'm just walking you through this. This doesn't bother me. This doesn't bother me. There is nothing about this chart that tells me we are fragile. The only point was right here. And I was sleeping, so whatever. In the chat, for those of you that know, tell me why. Would have been done? What would have been done? I don't know what I said. Some of you know. It's right there on the screen. Yeah, VWAP. Yep. Yeah, so as Kevin is saying, typically on a chart where there is not communication and there's not a ton of volume, we don't have millions of dollars coming through. This is where most projects fail. This is the point where we get out unless we're long-term hold. Here's why. See this little blue line right here? That is the volume weighted average price, the VWAP. So if you go to indicators and you type in VWAP, it shows up right there. This is what most of your charts look like. How the hell do I know? Is this the top? Is this going to go all the way down? Is this right here the top? How do we know? Like, this looks scary because we don't have the information we need to broad stroke, right? Kevin looks at like 5 indicators. I look at 1 because I'm lazy. This looks terrifying. This going that high and then going sideways, this right here, this is what a dead project looks like if the Telegram is busy shilling instead of communicating. This is a dead project. This is like, holy crap. When does the bottom fall out? Because nothing goes up forever. And it just keeps going, right? And then this is like, oh no, it started. As soon as you see this red, oh no, it started. Everybody's selling. Get out, get out, get out. And if you would have been here panicking about the red because, oh my God, the world's falling, guess what? You miss this. Right? You tracking along, everybody? So how do we navigate this? Like green, red, green. Oh, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Oh no, it's going down. How do we navigate it? One, we have to know, are these educated holders? The reason I wasn't worried right here is because we were educating you. We were helping you. We were educating ourselves and letting you watch. Yep. Very, very important. It's the difference between I'm worried about volume and an unlocked wallet, and I'm not personally. Okay. But we're not going to talk about the sentiment. We're going to talk about the data. So we go to indicators and we type in VWAP, volume weighted average price. This is the price, the average price at which this thing is being traded at. You can look up VWAP. That's the official definition. I interpret it as this is a fair price that most of the market is paying. So you can see right here, there's such a huge gap above the VWAP that most of the market paid less than this, which means either the market doesn't value it, they're about to sell it, because at this point they're already 5, 6, 7x, and that's when people sell. Or there's not enough volume yet, there's not enough trades coming through for the average to be brought up with these transactions. Okay, so when you see this huge gap, when you start seeing this gap between the volume weighted average price, this is what, based on all these transactions, this is what people are paying for this thing right now. And you see it up here, that means these people at this point, based on the volume, are overpaying, and these people are in huge profit. That is a fragile place to be. Okay, let me know if that makes sense in the chat. I don't want to lose anybody. Now, when this happens, this was probably because it happened at exactly midnight. There wasn't enough volume to move the VWAP, so I'm guessing it was just like a midnight reset. As soon as this happens, boom, this tells me that this is more than a fair price and everybody's right where they need to be. The VWAP bumping up like this on this reset, huge sigh of relief. Now here, you see the price is tracking on the VWAP. I'm not worried about it. This is what it trades at. Based on we start running again, right? That's not huge. Like that, I wouldn't be worried about that. But you see how the VWAP comes up and then comes up? We're not running away from the VWAP. I'm not worried. We sell down. I'm comfortable in my experience with what I've seen, and I do get some perspective from Kevin and ask questions. I'm comfortable 30 or 40% down because people panic. What we're looking for, is there a red candle that gets us back above the VWAP? If yes, I'm cool. What made the VWAP to pump up suddenly? In this case, it happened at exactly midnight. It was probably just, there wasn't enough volume to bring it up throughout the day. So I think it just reset at midnight. That's my guess, right? So what we want to see when this price is pumping up, this is a perfect example. This is actually one of the better examples I've ever seen. As this price is pumping up, we want to see the volume weighted average price curling up with it. That means people are buying and selling and trading at this price. What we don't want is a bunch of people that bought here, right? And a bunch of people that bought here, and there be no transactions here, because that would mean these people are up 30x or whatever. These people are break even. And if these people start selling, it's pandemonium here. Okay. So I wasn't worried about this. I actually said, I was live in voice. I said, I would not be surprised if you go down to 25. It went to 25.75. I would expect to go about there. Totally normal. I would not even think twice about this red. Down here, I would be a little worried, not about the asset, but that people are panicking, which is why, did anybody notice when we started trending, I fired up a unscheduled voice chat because I was pretty confident that if people were communicated with, this would turn around and keep going, right? So now here we have this beautiful VWAP coming up. Typically, these red candles will bounce off the VWAP. These didn't get down there, but look at this perfect bounce. I mean, look at that bounce. Boom. Right there, right? So we can quick glance. This is a very broad stroke. There's much more to this. but I don't want to analyze charts all day. I want to know if I need to look deeper. So for example, when we talked to the guy on voice chat, and he's, well, if people look at these wallets, well, if people need to look deeper because they don't trust me, it's not the right time for them to buy. The question is, for a lot of the investors up to about 100, 150, was, do I trust Nick? If Nick says to do it, then I'm not gonna look further. Right. And so this indicator is a version of that where I go, no, just track it right along. Conceptualize this. If this VWAP keeps going up, this will go above it, it'll go below it, it'll go above it, but the average keeps going up. We're groovy. There's not a single thing, because people panic here, there's not a single thing to worry about if this volume weighted average price is curling up. Hopefully that all makes sense. So you'll see some bounce in here. People are going to look at the market. They're going to try to figure out what's going on. They're going to come to the Telegram. And the way that we keep this volume weighted average price up and drive price up is we build the ecosystem so that you make money by holding Wolfies, not by selling it. Because if people refuse to sell their stack at this cost, then people have to pay this cost, right? And there's some moving around, but then we get to the point where if people refuse to sell at this cost, then people have to pay this cost. That's how supply and demand works. The people that have it refuse to sell it at this price, so people that want it have to pay more. Right? So if that makes sense, that's the really quick. When I'm watching this, I had zero concerns at all. If I didn't know the community, I would have probably taken my principles. If I put a BNB in here, right, and I saw it get this far away from the VWAP, and the VWAP's not really curling up with it, I would probably at least take my one BNB out here and let the rest ride. I wouldn't do that in this project. I didn't do that in this project because I did buy into the pre-sale. Because I knew we were in the chat talking, but not everybody goes in telegrams. Some people just read charts. But see, this curl up is good. This curl up is good. If this curls up overnight or tomorrow, we're groovy. And this curls up, and then what happens is this huge pump looks like this. Right? Let me give you an example. We can look at, I go to Ethereum because typically these things have had more volume for much longer. Jeju Doge. That's my other top secret stealth marketing. So this is the one that went 99x. And we got to look at a different time preference because it's been around forever. But let me show you something about Jeju Doge. See how terrifying these things look? And then at scale, they're just like silly little bumps in the road. Watch how, let's go 5 minutes. See the VWAP there? This one's a little skewed because it was post pump. But look at all of this violence, right? Oh my God, I'm up, I'm down. Look how far down I am. Look how much I am. People bought here, and then a couple hours later they were here. And none of this would worry me because we're just tracking the VWAP, right? Even if the VWAP goes down for projects that I believe in, I don't really care if the VWAP goes down. What I am concerned about, I don't mind if it's below it. What I'm concerned about is when something is sitting way above. Let's see if we can find a point in Jeju Doge. Again, look at this. Look how huge these things look. Look how tiny these things look. And then we do this. Now look how terrifying this looks. All right, we gotta adjust our time preference. Jeju Doge didn't really have a point. I was in it from day one. Doesn't have a lot of points where it ran away too much. Right. So what we're looking for show you one more. Look at Wolfies. See how Baby Doge looks. Baby Doge is a very unique launch. You see the view app, right? It kind of tells us where we're going. This is not the right time preference to be looking at this. See, this pump, people were like, this is amazing. And then down here, they're like, my life is over. And again, it's just so, and this is 9 days. We're on day 3. We're like hanging out right here, you know? And look, this seems so extreme. People are selling. Oh no. And right, this is why we got to study stuff. We got to look at, so we can look at with Baby Doge, or I'm sorry, yeah, Baby Doge. I thought we were looking at Papa Doge. That's why I was expecting it to look a little bit different. This right here, if I bought in right here, let's say I bought right there, because I would buy below this VWAP. I'm like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this. You saw this dip? I wouldn't actually be that concerned because it's so far below the VWAP that as soon as it turns around and watch it, it's very likely to come back very close to here. The market has told us that people will trade it here, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Just you can look at a lot of this stuff and make split decisions. There's deeper analysis that has to be done from time to time. But in a long hold, if you're gonna hold this, if you're gonna hold Wolfies for like Baby Doge was 9 days on that pump, right? If you're gonna hold this for like 9 days and you want to glance at it, you should look at this all the time because I want to trend. But you just go, hey, oh no, this dip. You're gonna see in Telegram, guys, what happened? The chart's ruined. Right here. Look at this. People are like, yeah, Wolfies, this is crazy. How are you doing this? And then right here, they're like, oh my God, it's over. All these people sold. And that's fine. They took profits. I hope they were in the pre-sale and I hope they made a ton of money. It'd be a bummer if they bought somewhere right here because they saw these green candles and FOMO'd in and they sold down here. That's why we don't buy when we're running away from the VWAP. I would buy here on this project. I don't know that I would buy here or here, right? You see how we're starting to we're getting far away from the VWAP. We want the VWAP to curl up a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Just show us that the market is coming up with us. But this is just a byproduct of running too far away from the average price. This just means there's too many people sitting at too much profit for somebody not to take some. But this does not tell me the world is over at all. Again, I expect to go down to 25. And if we can educate people, if we can not panic, stay calm-headed because we understand this, we can educate people, then, you know, somebody doesn't sell here. Somebody in this candle sold for a loss because they got in somewhere up here trying to catch it. They thought it was over, and look what they missed. Doesn't even fit on the chart. Somebody bought in here, sold here at a loss, probably thinks we're a scam now because they made a bad decision, and they missed this. And that's going to happen. That's how people trade. That's how crypto goes. That's how small micro caps go. And that's what emotions make us do. So what we want to do, everybody make sure to keep this open. If you have a refresher, just like refresh this page on autopilot. I have a refresher running on my laptop right now. What we want to do is figure out your style. So I have my conviction. You should not adopt my conviction. Give me 1 second. Okay, you should not adopt my conviction, but mine is I believe Bitcoin will trade into the $300,000. Okay. If that is true, I take the money I have now, the assets I have now, the return I get on those assets, and I want to have FU money. Like, I don't have to do anything ever again. And I can tell everybody they have off money on my 40th birthday. Okay. Given my current assets, if Bitcoin goes anywhere near where I believe it's going to go, do not adopt that belief. Then if I acquire, it's like $500 of Bitcoin a day. So I go one BNB and I try to get half an ETH. So all this trading, if I go one BNB a day, that's all I have to do. I'm with 30x on this thing, right? If I go one BNB a day and I exchange it for Bitcoin, I get everything I want in life in the time that I want it. So we can back into, so I could, and I don't right now because I like playing the game that I'm playing, which is trading and building stuff. I could just set up a farming system, stake this, stake that, get yield here, unstake it, put it here. Like I could do that and generate the $500 I need from crypto per day, exchange it for Bitcoin, and that would get me everything that I want. It may not be true for you. You may not have that conviction about Bitcoin, but you see how like people can go all the details about all the ways you can get rugged, and that's very, very valid. But me, because of my personal beliefs and what I need and what I want, I don't care as long as I make my BNB a day in crypto passively. And that's what, hopefully that makes sense. We got to start thinking. My suggestion is that people start thinking about where am I trying to get to in what time frame? And what do I actually need from crypto? Do I need to replace my income? If yes, how can I do that? It's not going to be picking the right coin every day. Very low probability. How can I build a system to replace my income? Cool. Now that I've done that, I don't want to just replace my income. I want to start acquiring Bitcoin or Ethereum or real estate. Doesn't matter. Okay, cool. At what time frame? What does this system need to yield in order for me to do that? And can I build that? Right. Very like once that's built and once you have that strategy down and you lock it in, you take the extra, my opinion, and you throw it at high moonshot and like, yeah, rugs suck. Honeypots suck. Scams suck. But it was an upside play to begin with. And so I don't have to worry so much, which is why I was trying to explain, and not everybody needs to adopt this, but I was trying to explain I could spend hours and hours and hours going through wallets. I get it. And I would be taking less risk. I understand. I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours staring at the computer. So I built a system to get me what I want while doing things that I want day to day. That's how we want to approach. So I would suggest we approach trading, right? Otherwise it's stressful and people are angry and like, I get it. I don't like, I have before, but I don't try to get scammed. And I actually don't very often. I have an unusually high success rate from what I can tell, probably because I got Kevin and Callie is somebody that trades with us, and Tika and all these, probably because I'm surrounded by people that are great at pointing out red flags. Does that all make sense? It's super, I know it's big picture, but I don't want to give too many details because I don't want you to adopt my beliefs. I want to help you understand that crypto is amazing. They're like nowhere else on the planet can you get the return that you get in crypto. It's amazing. The buying a coin and hoping it goes up in value is not the only way. You can bank in crypto. You could take all of your US dollars, turn them into a stable coin, and get 13% instead of 0.01%. Right? Like you don't have to take significantly more risk. You just got to say, okay, crypto, Here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to be. Here's my real life. Here's everything that I have in my real life. And here's where it's going to get me. How big is that gap? Given everything I'm doing now and everything I think is going to happen, how big is the gap between me retiring when I'm 40 and the trajectory I'm on? Can I close that with crypto? And if you think that way, it's not that hard. It's really not. Going from 1% interest to 13% interest will take years off that gap. You don't have to throw thousands of dollars at every moonshot hoping it's the one. You just don't have to. You can, right? Wolfies will reach 1 billion cap. Well, I mean, it might because the supply was so goofy. But that's the learning about the VWAP. Awesome. Hopefully that makes sense. There's an ecosystem education here. And it's not about, to be clear, it's not about do what I do. And it's not about adopt my beliefs. I don't want you to adopt my beliefs. One of the things I love about crypto is it replaces all of my income that I did from coaching. So my other companies still generate revenue and I'm getting out of coaching because I don't want people to adopt my beliefs. I want to help you figure out what yours are. You figure out what yours are, but then help you understand liquidity pools, help you understand the benefits of them. You don't just go into liquidity pools for the sake of it. Like, what's the benefit? Like there's different benefits on Ethereum than BSC. There's also risks. Don't want you just picking coins and be like, wow, that was a flop. That dev was a scammer. Like, everybody in the world wants all of their stuff to be more valuable, and it doesn't get more valuable. That doesn't make you a scammer. It just means that you weren't able to create a value around your thing. Some of them are scammers. And the reality is it doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't matter whether they meant to take your money or not. What matters is that you're not getting closer to what you want. Crypto seems everywhere. Crypto seems to have a lot of, well, that person has this and that person ran away with my money and that person's a bad, like who, excuse my language, who gives a fuck about all these other people? Are you getting closer to what you want? That is what crypto can accelerate more than anything else on the planet right now. It's not about, I don't care what other people are doing. I don't know why everybody else cares what other people are doing. I don't care what people think. Are you buying or selling this thing? Like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? You know? We do have those conversations, but it's just like casual conversations. It's not a suggestion ever. So back to everybody, if you're still here, we only lost one person. So hopefully that's helpful about how to think about this chart. Honestly, if you're a long-term holder, I wouldn't even look at it. The only reason I would want you to look at it is because, look, because I'm doing this right now, and there's 20-something people looking at the same screen at the same time, pushing buttons, we're trending. This helps all of us. It does. It's okay if whales come in. It's okay. I say, hey, we don't want those people. I don't mean we don't want those people. I mean, we should not spend resources trying to find those people. It's resource allocation. If they want to come in and drop 30 BNB, awesome. That helps all of us. Because did you know if somebody spends 30 BNB, 2% of that, 2% of that Wolfies, there's a tax, is distributed amongst you in proportion to how much you hold. So I like to see charts go sideways, up and down, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, bots, whales, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, big dips, big peaks, because all of that is volume, and that gives me more free Wolfies. It's awesome to watch charts go sideways. The price doesn't have to change. This goes sideways for a year, which obviously, like crypto, nothing does anything for a year. Nothing does anything for a day. but let's go sideways for a year. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. A year from now, if it was this exact price, it would be worth so much because you'd probably double or triple your holdings by the time all that action happened, right? So there's tokenomics. Crypto has cool tokenomics where the more action there is, the more distribution of Wolfies there is. Screenshot your wallet tonight, screenshot and look at it in the morning. This action is giving you all free Wolfies. So that was built in. Can you give an example of a chart? Have a scary VWAP. Yeah, and VWAP is not everything. So I'll show you. I'll show you a So here's a comment. Where's the best place to stake coins, Pancake or Binance? It depends. I'll read these real quick. It depends. That's why you got to understand the ecosystem. Honestly, if you could say, man, if I just got 10% instead of 1%, I'd reach all my goals. Just find somewhere that gives you 10%. Who cares about this versus that? Like, orient towards getting what you want. And if what you want is less headache, then don't do all the stressing about where to put stuff. There's no, more is not better. More is not better. Closer to what you want is better. Very big difference. People fail in crypto because they just want more. It's like chasing the horizon. You never get there. You just keel over and die one day, right? All right. So let me read these questions. My portfolio has grown much due to overall market, but with this education, yeah. Here, I'm going to give you a huge frame shift that most of you are not going to be ready for. You can, but I don't recommend it. You cannot say, how are you measuring a portfolio? So if you're saying US dollar sucks, I want crypto, and then you're saying, well, the US dollar value of my crypto has gone down, your brain, there's a disconnect. So if you had 1.5 Bitcoins, right? And now you have 1.7 Bitcoin. If your brain is wired to be aligned, your portfolio has grown. If you're saying, well, the US dollar value is less right now because of the market, there's something misaligned, right? Because if you believe Bitcoin, you're acquiring Bitcoin because it's going to be $100,000 right now, then the orientation is towards more Bitcoin. It's not towards higher US dollar value. It's another reason people get wrecked in crypto is because there's a ton of dissonance. Like, I want more Dogecoin, but then it's like, oh, the US dollar value's gone down. Like, which one do you want? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Because if you want a higher US dollar value, buy a ton of Ethereum and Bitcoin right now and just sit and do nothing. And you will double your US dollar value. Right? So if we're going to be successful, we have to know what we're trying. I'll tell you, my alignment is everything I am doing in crypto is to understand human behavior. Financially, I just want to acquire more Bitcoin. So I went to CoinMarketCap and I don't look at it in US dollars. I look at it in total Bitcoin value. I want to acquire more Bitcoins. If the market goes where I expect it to go, I'm filthy, filthy, filthy rich. I don't give a shit about the US dollar. Now that's based on my conviction about Bitcoin. If you don't have a conviction about what assets you believe are going to grow, or some portfolio of assets that are speculative, I don't think you should be trading unless you are only day trading to put in 10 US dollars and quickly get out 15 or whatever, right? You do need US dollars to buy bread. You should not be putting the US dollars you need to buy bread into crypto, right? That's the disconnect. Is like if you live your life in US dollars, the things that you need to survive should never, ever, ever go into your day trading in crypto. People are like, oh my God, those guys wrecked my life. Like, no, you did. You can't buy bread because you can't pay for bread in, freaking baby Doge. Like, don't put your bread money in baby Doge. So what's the point? What's the point of multiplying tokens? Well, just like I want more Bitcoin because I believe where it's going, there's twofold. One, if you bought one BNB in the pre-sale, and this whole time you're getting, I might be asking the wrong question. I'll tell you why I acquired more Bitcoin. One, because I believe it's going to go from its current value to about $300,000 US dollars. Okay. Now, that's why I don't care about the US dollar value right now. Here's the other thing that I did not clarify. You go to where the hockey puck is going, right? I don't care about my net worth right now. It's impossible to care about short-term and long-term and optimize them both. You can care about them both, but you can't optimize them both. So you make a decision. Do I want as much money as I can possibly have right now? Or what is the point? For me, on my 40th birthday, I want to be in the best position possible. My opinion is that Bitcoin puts me in the best position possible. Few reasons. If I need US dollars to buy bread, I can borrow against my own Bitcoin. I don't have to go to a bank. I don't have to go fill out any forms. I can just borrow against my own Bitcoin. So if I need fiat, I can borrow against Bitcoin. I borrowed $27,000 from myself, put it in Ethereum, traded Ethereum, got like $60,000 worth of Ethereum. And I'm just speaking US dollars because I don't know what the number of Ethereum was. And I paid it back. So I borrowed cash from myself. I paid interest to myself. I paid interest to the platform, sorry. But the interest that I was getting on my Bitcoin was greater than the interest I paid to myself. So I got paid additional and I got paid in Bitcoin. Right. So in my opinion, I want to be in the position of having the most control and power over my own life on my 40th birthday. I believe having as much Bitcoin as possible at that time puts me in that position. So my whole strategy, everything I optimize for, is cover my base needs, acquire Bitcoin. And then all the stuff I do outside of that is because I like to educate. I like to help people. I like to learn stuff. This is all learning for me. I'm not saying you should adopt that strategy, but imagine how much less. I've had multiple people tell me this. You're trading all day and ups and downs. And what if you could just put one BNB into Wolfies and it went 30x so far? What if you put one BNB into Wolfies and today you just pulled out, it was 30 BNB. You pulled out one, exchanged it for Bitcoin. That's all you need to do because you've backed into what you need. One BNB worth of Bitcoin per day, and I get what I want. That takes a whole lot of stress and guessing out of it, doesn't it? And then tomorrow, all you got to do is put in two BNB to something and pull out 3. You don't have to double your investment. You can get 50%. You still up one BNB, exchange it for Bitcoin. You do that every day. Do the math. You put $300 into Bitcoin every day, and Bitcoin goes conservatively 5x from here. You could borrow against your Bitcoin. People accept it as payment now. I'm not saying you should adopt it. I'm saying I have a purpose, which makes it easy to build a strategy, which means I don't have to stress out. And I don't really care if I get honeypotted. It sucks. Like I get bummed out about it. It doesn't wreck my life. Not wrecking your life, it turns out, is a really good strategy to getting what you want. I built an app for my business partner, his intellectual property. We built an app that actually shows you how to do all this math. That's why I can just look at it and be like, oh, yep, cool, I'm on track. And we just baked crypto in so you can track your crypto in there. Why do you prefer Bitcoin over Ethereum considering ETH 2.0 is coming out within a year? Personal preference, 100% personal preference. I think Ethereum's market cap will exceed Bitcoin's in time because of the utility, but they're different things. Crypto is not crypto, right? Uniswap, you can go buy Uniswap token. Uniswap is an exchange. Ethereum's not an exchange, right? Bitcoin is a currency and what you would call a shibboleth, meaning if you live in Korea and you're a billionaire and they want to tax you or put you in jail, Bitcoin is the only way you avoid that. There's a reason that there's a ton of money going into Jeju Doge from Korea in particular, right? So Bitcoin and Ethereum are entirely different things. One, Ethereum's a utility token and a governance token, right? Ethereum is not money. It's not a currency. It's utility. It's like gas, right? You pay gas fees. It's like oil or gas, which is very, very valuable. Bitcoin is more like gold. They're different things. They both have value. So it's personal preference as to optionality. Ethereum also doesn't have, it's not, I believe the only truly decentralized thing is Bitcoin. There can also only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. There's not even 21 million, or there's more than 21 million millionaires in the US. So not even every millionaire can have one Bitcoin. That alone makes it something that I want to have as much of as possible. Right. So there's different things. I think Ethereum is going to skyrocket. I think my personal belief is that Ethereum's market cap will overtake Bitcoin's. That does not mean one Ethereum will be more valuable than one Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has extremely limited supply. So the market cap is not going to go up forever. And if it does, it's because the value is going up forever. There are multiple platforms to borrow from, Avi, BlockFi, etc. I do not like BlockFi. From what I am told, they have phenomenal customer service. You can only perform actions on BlockFi as far as exchanging and stuff, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You want to take some Ethereum out on a Saturday? Can't happen. So that's why. Celsius is not available in my state, and Celsius, a lot of US users, I use Nexo. It's not financial advice. You should make a YouTube channel instead of Zoom. Yeah, someday. But look, like I got bedhead all the time. I'm not interested in creating stuff that strangers are going to consume. I've been there. I've done that. Done marketing, paid advertising, front-facing stuff. I don't care about eyeballs. So I thought about it. I will probably do stuff like this on YouTube so you could subscribe, but do it privately. So like a live YouTube, but private. So you have to have the link to join so that you could subscribe and stuff. But I just have no interest in there's more people, even in Wolfies, there's more people than I could ever talk to one-on-one consistently. And I don't need more people to talk to. And I don't really need more people to listen to me either. What books are on your desk? That desk in particular, I got thyroid medication. You can see that. Flip the Script, Diffusion of Innovations. Let me see. Beyond Order, Process Therapy Model. I read a lot. I got range on this desk by the computer. I probably read 2 or 3 hours a day. Who do you follow in the crypto space? Nobody. There's one channel that I watch for the technical analysis, and most of the technical analysis recently has been on Bitcoin, which is interesting. So here's which shitcoins do you currently own? All right, let me answer these. Here's what people don't understand. Crypto, it's like coaches following coaches, and they followed coaches who followed coaches. Crypto people following crypto people that follow crypto people are pretty useless, to be honest, because they don't understand the underlying structures. So you study religion, right? And then you study biology, and you look for like, weird. Humans do human things. And then you look at crypto and you're like, oh, it's humans doing human things again. And then you dive into the underlying structures. Like, once you understand how humans work and complex systems work, then you just got to figure out the details, which is why like people like Kevin and Mario and Padram, they know the details better than I do. I just know what humans do. And I know what to say if I want to get them to do something. So I just have to understand, like, cool, what is an exchange? What is liquidity? What is boom? And frankly, if I want a bunch of people to go into liquidity pool, I know how to get them to do that. Right? If I want a bunch of people to be super curious about Wolfies and look around and they can't find it anywhere, so they come to Telegram and then they get in a dialogue with a whole bunch of people that understand what's going on, I know how to do that. So I know how to get people to buy stuff from curiosity. If there's a website, I'm just sharing this with you guys because I don't share this Telegram. If there was a website, people would go, that's interesting. And they would make a decision a lot of times right there without ever getting to talk to people in the community. That's why there's no website. We want people to be curious. The harder they have to work to find the thing, the longer they're going to stick around to decide if they want to engage in the thing. So I don't have to know anything about crypto to know how to get people to invest in a coin and hold it. The first one is like the Jeju or the multiple big pump and dump. The second one's there's one big pump and dump at the beginning, then nothing after that. What is the difference between the two in your opinion? There's a lot. The biggest one being hype. Biggest one being hype. Jeju Dojo was never hyped. As soon as you make a promise, if I sell you really, really hard on a t-shirt, and like, I don't know, but everybody else is doing it. The more external pressure that gets applied, the less that it's your idea, the higher the buyer's remorse, the more chargebacks, the faster you sell, blah, 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 blah. That's why I don't want people to shill in the group. But if you wake up and you're like, man, if I had this kind of t-shirt, where can I find one of those? And you look for it and you finally find the right one. You go to the store and you rush there and you buy it. That was all your decision. There's no external pressure. There's no buyer's remorse. There's no chargeback. There's no hard feelings. Right? So counterintuitively, the thing that creates a one pump and permanent dump is hype and expectation. MILF never recovered. Loot, I was in that pre-sale, they probably won't recover because you create such an emotional high that the reality doesn't meet it. In Jeju Doge, the real ones that repeat pump and dump, often what you see is it dies and it comes back, and it dies and it comes back. And like these owners, these devs have already renounced ownership and they're long gone. It's people making their own decision, like, I'll put a couple bucks in here. It kind of looks dead. It's not going to dump on me. And somebody sees that and goes, ooh, this looks like it's coming to life. And volume picks up and then dies down, and then volume goes flat and then picks up and it goes down. That is humans making their own decision. It is not humans responding to hype. And that's pretty consistent. Before the big pumps, if you go analyze the charts, there's like a dead volume. There's nobody marketing it or hyping it. People go, oh, look, maybe this thing comes back to life. I'll just put 0.1 ETH in and wait. Somebody else has the same idea. Somebody else sees those two people and another pump. Excitement, hype is the killer of like all things. What shitcoins do you currently own? Depends on how you define shitcoin. I have a ton of Wolfies. And BNB, I have on the BSC side, I have not. It's not a shitcoin, but it would be considered one. I have Astronaut. Twin Finance because of Astronaut. I have MemePad. MemePad, I don't care what the price is. I have enough MemePad to be their highest tier, which means I get the highest level of access to. There's actually people because you get stack levels, but I have the highest tier. I only have one of them. Some people have multiple. But when they come out with an initial offering of a new thing, the most you can invest depends on your tier. I don't care what MemePad costs. I want the tier. That's the thinking that like, it's not about watching the price of the coin. What does this coin get me? That's what I want to know. Astronaut gets me guaranteed allocation on a very, very limited IDO. Astronaut, I bought it like $1 or 50 cents or something. I don't know. It could go down to half a cent. As long as it gets me access to a limited IDO that nobody else has access to, I think maybe 750 people total they let in last time. So you see how you're thinking, like we think about utility and we think about ecosystem. Kevin turned me on to Banana. I hold some Banana because I can stake Banana and earn it not, which is one of the things I want more of. Don't care what the price of Banana is. If Banana gets me more not, I want it. So that's how I think about it. On the ETH side, I have Jeju Doge. Obviously, I have a ton of Jeju Doge. At the bottom, at like that where it bottomed out, I had like 27 grand worth of Jeju Doge. And that's about, it'll probably 10x if it gets back to all-time high. I haven't looked at it. I'm going to hold it for a long time. I have TrueBit, which is not a shitcoin. TrueBit's on par with Polkadot and Ethereum and the other one, Cardano. I'm holding one. I don't recommend this. MMA Con, and I've made a ton of money from it because one of the Korean billionaires that I was talking about sent me a message and said, all it said was MMA Com. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's a coin that launched like 2 minutes ago. So I put money in it. I've just been printing Ethereum. I don't spend a lot of time analyzing wallets and stuff. Very few people I trust, and if they tell me to do something, I do it. Until I don't. We'd love to hear your thoughts on BNB reward projects like Tiki and Stellar. I think they will implode. I think they will implode. I could be wrong. Here's why. I know a lot of people don't like it, and I'm sorry. Here's why we have unlocked wallets and our liquidity is not all locked. It is because we could build in the contract, but a lot of the rewards, you tell me how the math makes sense. How can you make the math make sense? The volume would have to be super high and have to work out just right, because if it's code in the contract, I see this with 024E. You sell off. At every sell, you get less BNB because it's worth less, right? So like you sell off, and Tiki has this as well. So if you go to Tiki and you scroll, you're going to find like little sale walls, and look at the wallet. The wallet that is selling ends with 024E every time because that's a contract. It's a function of the contract. So the idea is it sells off to create the BNB rewards, right? Those BNB rewards are distributed amongst multiple people. Some of them have a buyback. unless everybody takes all of their rewards and buys back Tiki, that little VWAP line is going to start going down. And when people see that sell off, they're going to panic. So you look at Rise, you look at Ghostface, you look at HODL. It's brilliant. I love the idea. The problem is that contract is not smart enough to not kill the chart. Look at the charts. Tiki might not be dead yet. I haven't seen Stellar. Look at Ghostface. Look at HODL. Look at, you can go to where they tanked and you can look at where those sales came from. What happened is the contract sells to generate BNB rewards. People don't know it's a contract because they're not educated, and they panic and they start selling. So if that contract creates an unusual amount of sales, even by a tiny percent, it no longer works. The math doesn't make sense. It cannot buy back the buyback. But even if everybody that got the rewards bought back, it still wouldn't get back to where it was because there were some panic sells in there. And those panic sells didn't collect the BNB and put it back in. The devs will sure think of that. Well, go look at Ghostface and HODL and Everrise and Mega Rise. So the reason that we're doing something similar, but here's what we're doing. We will sell off tiny bits, sold off a tiny bit today, and take that BNB and go farm it and harvest it and create more BNB so that when we come back to buy back Wolfies and give rewards, we have significantly more than what we sold. Right? So at some point, let me tell you this. Look at the price fluctuation on Tiki. I haven't seen it in a couple days. Right? Look at the price fluctuation on Tiki. So here's what I'll tell you about what you're saying. It sounds, and we're not talking, so I could be wrong. It sounds like you are trying to justify an emotional attachment to a project that is very, very dangerous. I'm not saying it's wrong. I hope you have an emotional attachment to Wolfies. But just be aware when you're justifying, it happens all the time, dude. Like, people get destroyed because they got super excited about a project because of all the hype. But do the math. I'll tell you the math that I would recommend that you do. Look at the price. Okay, you put in one BNB, say 10, just to make the nice big round number, 10 BNB. Okay, and you're getting 0.03 BNB a day in rewards or whatever. Do the math and look at the fluctuations. Look at the average flux, because if that price fluctuates 30%, you're down from 10 to 7 BNB. How many years of rewards do you need, or months do you need to make up that BNB that you lost? Right? So I don't like my rewards coming from directly from like that kind of distribution. I'd rather just have the 10 BNB because I could put the 10 BNB somewhere and get more than what they're giving me in rewards. So the Tiki project, I made a lot of money on Tiki. I was in the launch. And it at first it paid really well, and then the more holders, the thinner that distribution. I got out of Tiki because I saw the 024E selling, and I wasn't sure if it would recover. And I did the math, and I was like 12 BNB. I'd rather have my 12 BNB than collect 0.02 a day, you know. How do you find all these tokens so early? There's so many of them. I don't chase. I think that's a mistake people make. I won't chase anything. I don't look for much. I'm in a group of phenomenal people that are always finding stuff. But I broad stroke, meaning I make very quick decisions. I'll go, is the upside way greater than the downside? If yes, all right. So the guy that was talking about all the wallets and stuff, good points. If I have to look that deep into something, then the asymmetry is not great enough. The upside is not like, it's not such a sure thing. It's not worth betting on for me. So I eliminate 90% of options right away. How do I find them early? We'll do this, I think, in Wolfies a little bit. You get in communities, you get in, there's a ton of them. Some are super scammy, some are super legit. And they say, hey, this is launching in 10 minutes. Here's the contract code. And if that's your style, you look at it. You can do Unicrypt, DX sale, pre-launches, Astronaut. I'm strongly considering only doing Astronaut and meme pad launches. So it's just, don't chase stuff. Nowhere stuff shows up. DX sale homepage. I'm fortunate that Kevin finds a lot of them, and I can just quickly decide whether I'm going to go in or not. Farming is interesting. So I'll explain it at a high level because the details of it, I don't fully understand, which is why I need to build it. So I know. There has to be, so Pancake Swap has low fees, meaning the rewards aren't great. So why would you provide liquidity? And they found a lot of ways to create incentives. And one of those is if you provide liquidity, you get liquidity tokens, and you can take that liquidity pool token and you could put it somewhere, right? And by putting it there, you earn 300% APY on the value of those liquidity tokens, and it spits out some other asset, banana, whatever, cake. On Pancake Swap, it's cake. So there's some partnership network of how do we, I'm speaking kind of backwards here, but how do we incentivize people to contribute? Because it's decentralized. There's no one person that owns all of this, right? So in order for Wolfies to have strong liquidity pool, we need as many people as possible to provide liquidity. What's the incentive to do that? So there's farming and pooling where you prove you have liquidity and you get rewarded for it. So hopefully that makes sense. It depends. It's all a little bit different. So it's all an elaborate incentive structure so that instead of selling your Wolfies, you put it in liquidity pool, take your LP tokens, which we'll build this, and you put them somewhere and you earn something else that is valuable to you. And that's how it all works, because it's decentralized and no single person or company owns all the stuff. So it's like when you buy and sell Wolfies, you're buying from a pool, and I provided most of that pool, but as we grow and people add liquidity, we just all pool our Wolfies in there and let people buy and sell them. What is the incentive to do that? On Ethereum, the fees are so high that the transaction fees you actually make pretty good money. In my experience, there's far more farming and pooling in the BSC side. But it's so another staking is meme pad. You can stake your meme pad. And the reason you do that is you stake meme pad and they give you 76% APY, and they pay you in meme pad. Why would they do that? Because some brilliant mathematician somewhere figured out that you staking your meme pad and getting rewarded works out better for them than you selling it. So the incentive for you not to sell it is stake it and get rewards. Right? I have almost 400,000 meme pads staked. I'm trying to get to 4,000, whatever it is, 420,000. That's the like final tier. Being in this community, we have access to know when other great projects are coming in order to be a part of the dump to put it into Wolfies. Yes, at the highest level of access, I want to day trade with you guys. I want to tell you I've done this with, I pay $10,000 to be in a program. And when he day trades, we just watch. And it's like, I'm selling here. This is why. I go with him. Sometimes he sells faster than I do. And he dumps on me, and that's okay. But that's right. So I want to offer that kind of like, hey guys, this is coming. We do a version of that. But what we have to do is we have to protect people, meaning the risk is in every program, in crypto program, is everybody gets FOMO and everybody's like, I can't keep up. And like, we have to help people understand you're not supposed to keep up with me. You're supposed to have your own thing. And if pre-launches is part of that, then you get in on the pre-launches. But like trying to do everything everybody else is doing hurts more than it helps. So we got to not hurt people. We got to not hurt people. If we do that, we're the best in the business because everybody else is hurting people, not intentionally, but just by not being cognizant of how not shielding people from some things leads them to making really stupid decisions. What is the benefit of providing liquidity? There is not a huge benefit right now, to be transparent, on the BSC side, unless there's a strategy. So I provide liquidity for Twin and BNB because if I do that, I get free bananas. Sounds ridiculous. I want bananas because I can stake those bananas and get free NOT. NOT is one of the things that I want more of. Right. So you see, I don't care what the price of Twin is. I don't care what the price of banana is. I want more NOT. I don't have to watch all these charts. I want more NOT. So there's a strategy behind liquidity. Now for Wolfies, in this example, if you invested and you want to go to 100x, one of the really important things that people look at is the liquidity pool. If it's a low liquidity pool, people will not quickly grow and they won't hold, though they're scared. So that's benefit one. Benefit two will be in the future, you will be able to provide liquidity. And because you're providing liquidity, you will earn something else, right? And that something else will be valuable because it can earn you other things. So just by buying Wolfies, let's say you're going to hold them for, I don't know, a year or foreseeable future, you put them in the liquidity pool. And while that investment is growing, you don't have to watch charts all day. It is passively yielding you more assets that you want, right? This is what I'm talking about strategy. Like you buy something that you want forever. TrueBit, I want forever. Jeju Doge, I want forever. I'm in the TrueBit, Jeju Doge liquidity pool. The only benefit is that I get more TrueBit and Jeju Doge in the transaction fees. It's fucking awesome. I don't look at the charts. I don't care because I just know I want more of them. So that's the benefit of liquidity, is if you know the system and you know how to navigate it. Kevin, I don't know if he's on. I don't have the attendant list open, but I say his name a lot because I watch a lot of stuff he does. He knows all of that stuff better than I do. And he's super meticulous and thoughtful about it, and he knows what's going on. So if I'm like, I want this stuff farmed, I'm going to ask Kevin what he's doing. I'm going to say, hey, does this make sense? And sometimes I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. But here's why. It's a better alternative. But a lot of the stuff that I bought, Twin Finance, Meme Pad, I don't care what the price is. It has nothing to do with anything. It's generating more of the thing I want. I don't have to buy Meme Pad because I'm getting like 30 free a day. I'm getting like 60 or 70 free a day. I don't have to buy more. Right? So that's just to understand where these things fit and what they do and what they represent. You don't have to worry about picking the right coin. If you missed adding liquidity at launch, when is a good time? Anytime you want. Anytime you want. Understand it first, because there's a concept, and you're going to hear this a lot, and people don't understand what they're saying, and it causes panic. there's a concept called impermanent loss, which means you put in X amount of Wolfies and that same value in B&B. Now, both those values fluctuate, right? So when you go to pull it out, you might have less B&B and more Wolfies, or more Wolfies and less B&B. It's going to maintain a balance. So it's possible that, generally speaking, you don't lose in a liquidity pool. It is possible, but it's really hard to lose in a liquidity pool. But it's possible that holding B&B and holding Wolfies separately would be worth more than if you put it in a liquidity pool, right? Either way, if they both go up, the value's going up. But there's scenarios where one goes up significantly more than the other, and so you have less of that at the other end of the liquidity pool. So I want to provide liquidity. This is what I want. I only provide liquidity if I want more of both of the assets. I can't lose. I want more TrueBit. I want more Ethereum. I go in the liquidity pool. It fluctuates. I get more of both, right? But it might skew one way or the other. And I don't really care because I want more of both. Because I am not attached to US dollar value. I just want more assets that are going to be explosive later. When you enter a liquidity pool, do you always receive more coins, or is it depending on the specific? Yeah, you'll always go in with a higher total and you come out. You may, it depends on the volume, because like one BNB might be 1 trillion of a shitcoin. So the numbers are weird, but people do transactions on PancakeSwap and they pay 15 cents. On Ethereum sometimes it's $100, $200 for a transaction, and the liquidity pool gets a percentage of that. So if it's a sell, right, if they're using the coin, it depends on how the contract's written and where the taxes are, but from Pancake, you are getting more on every transaction, right? You're adding to your bag. It's just possible that you get more of one thing and a little bit less. You get a lot more of one thing and a little bit less BNB, right? But BNB goes up 5x in price. So it would have been better to just hold the BNB. That's why we only go in with assets that we want both of. We just want more of both. It's not a big deal because we can't predict the future. So it's like, man, I should have just held this. Like, yeah, hindsight's 2020. Just understand how the system works and figure out what you want more of and rig the game so you get more of those things. Stop worrying about yesterday it was worth $500 US, today it's worth 450. Who cares? Right? Like, one Bitcoin a couple months ago was worth more than 1.2 is today. Do you think I want higher US dollar value a couple months ago, or you think I want more Bitcoin today? I would take the more Bitcoin every time. But I have conviction about where it's going. I could be wrong. But if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose playing my own game. And I'm okay if I play my own game because I know how I came up with the rules. And if I'm wrong, I can fix it. If I play Zachary good, if I play Zach's game and I go down like shit gets fucked up, I don't know how Zach made these decisions. I'm screwed. I don't know how to fix the operating system. I don't know where I went wrong. So if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down with my own analysis, play my own games so that I can retrace my steps and reconfigure my thinking, right? It's just a different mindset when you start thinking about getting what you want and being strategic about it. The human brain is always going to say more, bigger, big green candles, 10x. None of that means getting closer to what you want. Part of the dump. So I already answered this question, but Yeah, share before you go to bed. Share takeaways in Telegram group so that next time we do it, more people want to. Next steps will be tomorrow. Our next steps right now are to keep trending and keep helping people when they come in. Curiosity is our best friend. Hype is not. We want people to be like, what the hell's going on here? That opens up a conversation. We don't want people going, oh, cool. Yeah, 10x, throwing money in, because then they lose money and they blame us. And they didn't know what they were doing, right? So we want curiosity. We want to create curiosity. We want them to talk to 3 or 4 of us and poke around and go, wow, this is different. That's what we need. Otherwise, we're the same. So I'll tell you the last thing is we're going to create pairings. I don't know when. We can do it live right now, but we're going to create our own pairings where there's coins that are built to scalp. Papa Doge. Everything I see about it, and Kevin pointed it out, so props to him again. Pointed it out. Papa Doge was built to scalp. Has no tax, has super high volume. Papa Doge, everything about it was built to go in quickly and make money, get out, and then do it again and again and again and again. So if we can identify those plays, we can say, all right, guys, let's go. Papa Doge, it's pumping. Throw BNB in, 2 BNB, 2.5 BNB, pull it out, put it into Wolfies. You don't have to put it into Wolfies, but obviously we would structure it in a way where you feel, hopefully you feel like, cool, put in 1 BNB, make 3, put 1.5 into Wolfies, put the other half, 1.5 into a pool or buy Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? So there's plays, and I actually want to build. It's not my priority right now. I want to build a coin that's scalpable so that we have control over the pumpage. We can go in, pump our own bags, and go buy more of the stuff we want. That's the kind of contract that would be renounced. It would look beautiful on DEX tools. It'd make perfect sense because it's built for people to go, oh, sweet. I understand this. I'm going to make money quickly. Right? I want a scalpable coin. That's just not what Wolfies is. Any books or anything educational you recommend aligned by this macro perspective approach? I went the long route, man. I went the long route. I can't think of a book right now. I don't think any one book has the answers. I amalgamate a lot of perspectives and data. I watch people do technical analysis. I'll watch 10 people do TA, and they come up with 10 different conclusions looking at the same chart. That's interesting to me. I don't want to follow one person. I want to know why we're all looking. You ever seen if you're a sports fan, you ever seen like somebody make a catch on the sideline and all the fans of that team are like looking at the high def replay, go, oh, that's definitely a catch. All the fans of the team like, that's definitely not. Are you crazy? Like, how are we all looking at the same thing, seeing something different? So I don't have a reference material, if that makes sense. I want to know all of the perspectives. I want to understand why we're all looking at the same data, interpreting it differently. I've been hesitant to take out any profit as I don't know how much holding will be rewarded. Can you share thoughts on that? Meaning, will I be penalized and therefore I choose just, yes, you'll be penalized. Bias perspective. I am pointing out my bias. If we stay trending and we take care of people in the group, there's another pump coming. It's not today, okay? But if you hold, you'll get more rewards. Okay, so the rewards are distributed based on percentage of holding. So what I did was I exported all the wallets and just ran a quick calculation in Excel. And the more you're holding, the more that you get. Now, the price is going to go up. Don't know when. It might go down first. Might not. I don't think it will. Watching the View app. But you saw the other charts. The second pump is exponentially bigger than the first one. What I want to do is when that second pump is coming, and you know when it's coming, like it builds up, you know. Take everybody from the pre-sale and everybody that got in super early and anybody that's at the highest tier and say, hey guys, let's get together like this, watch the chart. And I want to show you how to exit your full position ethically. We did it today. From the marketing wallet, full disclosure. You won't be able to see it on the chart. All that BNB is going to get farmed and we're going to come back and we're going to buy it back. What we're going to do is we're going to wait till it dips and stalls and we're going to turn it around. So other investors, as long as we're trending, go, oh yeah, right? So I can show you how to ethically buy and sell. It will maximize your profit. You'll make more profit that way. And it's not a penalty. Like you can always buy it. So, you know, you take the pump, you sell it ethically. Eventually it dies down a little bit. You can buy back in with a fraction of the BNB that you got, right? And like you can ethically scalp something all the way to the top. I was doing it with TrueBit until I just got tired of watching it. I just went in the liquidity pool. So if I want more TrueBit, then I don't need to scalp it. I'll just go in the liquidity pool. There is a plan for the educational part of this project. It won't be Zoom. It'll be tiered approach. I said I'd build it when there's 300 holders, and we have over 300 holders. So it's actually going to be more of a, sometime this week, we'll get you in a community, and it won't be super frequent. It will be at first. But remember, here's something to remember. It has to be fun and interesting and not a headache for me. Because the only way right now, the only way I make profit is by selling Wolfies. And that is not what we want. So it has to be, you know, kind of like the voice chats where people are like, you need to schedule a time. Like, no, I don't. You guys, by supporting the community, will make a lot more profit. I will make a little bit, but like the guy was saying, I actually cannot sell for a while because people that read wallets will see that the dev is selling and they will panic. So it behooves everybody else. And you see it in the chat where everybody's like, we got to pump this up. That's because that's how they make profit. I only make profit if this project is successful. There's two ways I make profit. If this project is successful long-term, I profit, right? Because when there's 20,000 holders, nobody cares if the dev sells or not. Or I dump everything right now. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I would have done that. I wouldn't do it now. My face is on the screen. If I was going to dump, I'd be anonymous. So the only way that I make profit is by protecting the long-term upside of this project, which is why everybody else goes, shill. We need to pump this up. They're actually saying, I'm trying to pump up my bag so I can get out at a profit, which I get, but I don't support that as a project owner. I'm not against it, but I'm not going to tell the rest of the group to do the thing that is going to sabotage the longevity of the project, right? So there's the trader, there's a day trader, and then there's the project owner. And, you know, I got to be a day trader over here and a project owner over here. I got to dump other people's projects over here and protect my own over here. Full transparency. That's the game. So best thing, I promise, I will personally make this promise to you. The best thing right now is to hold. I'm not worried about a price dump at all. It won't be on the timeline that is convenient for you, potentially. So I would think in a long time horizon, like I would think in like weeks, not hours. what was sold today is getting farmed right now. So we will come back. It's not very likely that the price goes much lower than it is because we only have 300 holders. And we're going to pump it back up when the time is right. That's what all those contracts like Everrise do, but they do it automatically, so the timing is wrong. So you're pretty safe holding right now. Between the reflections, what's coming, and the fact that we're trending, you're pretty safe right now. If we had 3,000 holders and we just did our first sell like today. If we had 3,000 holders, 4,000 holders, the people on this call and my stash of BNB would not be enough to make a full recovery. But where we're at right now, the volume we have right now, just the people here trying to market a little bit would bring us right back up to where we are and beyond. So we're in a safe place, which is why we maintain control over the narrative until we can't make a difference anymore. And when we can't make a difference anymore, everybody made so much money, you're not going to care anymore, right? We're talking about 10x from here, which is 300x from pre-sale. So hopefully that makes sense. I got to go feed my dogs. I got wolfies, real wolfies, and they need food. Drop in Telegram, share your biggest takeaway, and we'll set up some sort of ongoing. I have a lot of content I have to make, and I'll probably do it live. So there'll be a lot of ongoing stuff in the beginning. But once I make all the content, there won't be as frequent as of what are reflections? Okay, last question. When somebody buys or sells, there is a 2% tax. That tax is distributed amongst holders. It's called reflections. So you will see if you screenshot your wallet right now and you look at it this time tomorrow, even if we don't airdrop, you're going to have more wolfies because every transaction puts more wolfies in your wallet. Now, it's not going to move the needle in a huge way right now because we had less than $200,000 of volume coming through. But when there's $2 million, Papa Doge had like 4 or 5 million come through today, and we were just trending 2 behind them. When there's $5 million of volume coming through, you're going to notice the amount of like the reflections coming in. Oh, all right. I got to go feed my dogs. Hopefully that all made sense. We'll tie up some loose ends and close some loops as time allows. And drop it to Biggest Takeaway Telegram, and I'll hang out in there for a little bit later.